Hey guys, hope all is well, and welcome to my new subscribers, and welcome back to the returning ones. Now, this video I want to do is kind of like a heads up because tomorrow we are having another geomagnetic storm. A second hole on the sun has opened up, and a geomagnetic storm is on the way, strong solar winds, and that's going to be hitting Earth tomorrow on Friday and the 30th. I think, yeah, tomorrow's 30th. Oh, wouldn't that Friday? Tomorrow's Friday, 30th or 31st, whoever. But now last week they had another geomagnetic storm, and last week the spiritual warfare got crazy. It was really, really, really heavy. When those solar winds come on to the planet, hit the planet, those are pure source creation, really high frequency energies. Lower beings entities and people on a lower vibration, that is going to trigger the living hell out of them. So just a heads up, especially, this is going to be coming into the weekend. I wouldn't argue with anybody. It's not even worth it. And another thing, you're definitely going to need to put strong boundaries up. If you have people, family, friends, or anyone who has betrayed you or who you kind of separated yourself from or need to separate yourself from, you are really going to need to strengthen those boundaries because unfortunately, there are a lot of setups because I even picked that up last week. People at a low vibration, especially when those solar winds hit, because the hole that just opened up, that's like 20 times the size of Earth. So tomorrow, that energy is going to be hitting. So strong boundaries are going to be needed. I mean, if doing the work, you're protected anyway because there is a lot, because that's been coming up in a lot of my shorts from the messages from Archangel Michael, and I keep getting guarded and protected. There's a lot of extra protection around people right now, but you still might, just put in some extra measures, do some extra clearing because that that energy is going to be here this weekend and it's going to be intense. And like I said, last week was a mess. A lot of people were feeling that, and you're already going to have more ascension symptoms anyway since your body is being upgraded. But your body is being upgraded. The people who hadn't done the work, they just getting their ass ate up. But it's just causing them to be really like hella aggressive, especially these entities, vampiric beings. If you hadn't watched that short that I just posted like an hour ago, look at that short because I did one on these vampiric beings because they do appear as light. Sometimes when you see those flashes out of the corner of your eye, that's not positive all the times. Those archons do appear like that as well. So make sure you watch that short. But this is just a heads up. Like I said, avoid arguments at all costs. If it's anybody who's already wronged you, stay away. Karmic family, stay away. Put your boundaries up. And another thing is just something else. These are stuff I've been picking up on. Okay, now they're not being really honest about how bad the water supply is because there's been kind of a lot of intentional things being done, and especially with the explosion, that so-called self-contained explosion from that train derailment, all of that went into a major ocean that kind of distributes a huge part of the U.S. That it is being suggested that like when you go to the store now, like I said, this just heads up ahead of time. I don't know when they plan on kind of being honest with how bad the water supply is getting with the poisoning. But it is being suggested maybe, pick up some extra water, and a filtration system or a reverse osmosis system will probably be beneficial to you down the line. Like I said, the people who are doing the work that's vibrating on a higher frequency, they have backing. The people who haven't, they do not. Those are the left behinds. Make sure you keep these people out of your energy, because right now they are trying to latch. You even have people, karmic family, are actually ritually trying to bind themselves to family members of a higher frequency. Because it also, in the community post, I did posted a 5-minute video, a clip of a video with Dr. Phil Valentine. He talks about the solar flares. So it's only 5 minutes. I would check that out too if you haven't. But with this coming in tomorrow, what these solar winds are doing, that is really, because the veil is already gone, pretty much. And what that's doing is just tearing down the little pieces of the old paradigm that are up. So this is another thing you might want to be mindful of. Let me see, I wrote some notes. Recently, okay, Saudi Arabia has entered a trade alliance with China, Russia, India, Pakistan, and 4 Central Asian nations to step away from the U.S. currency, trading in their own currencies. And on top of that, Operation Sandman is a collaboration of over 100 nations in agreement to simultaneously sell off their U.S. Treasury holdings, sending them back to the U.S. to collapse the U.S. dollar. Now, I know probably you guys have probably heard, like, for years about the U.S. dollar being on a decline. And then, a couple of weeks ago, we already had some bank collapses, like 3 major bank collapses. So you guys have to kind of make sure you stay at a high frequency, make sure you are manifesting for this new cycle, because when that U.S. dollar, that collapses, all hell is going to break loose. Because for almost 2 years now, I have been having visions of that happening and all hell breaking loose. We're going into martial law. And at that time, there was no assistance, and that includes, like, for the people who get like Section 8 food stamp assistance. I also saw a period where none of that was available. We are looking at, like I said, for the new, you have to tear down the old. And you're going to start, these collapses are going to start happening this year. So that's why it's being pushed so much. I had for like all of last week, every oracle message and every short message I had, it had something to do with separating yourself from people who are not supposed to come into this next cycle with you. It's going to be nasty for the left behind, but nothing to be. Definitely don't get into the energy of fear. You just keep working on yourself and creating for this new cycle, because you guys are going to have backing. The people who chose not to, they do not. And I'll probably talk about that on another video. But all ancient prophecies talk about, at the end times, the sun devouring the earth. And the sun is peaking. And it's weird because I've been drawn back to Nostradamus' quatrains. And, a lot of things he said in the past, a lot of those have already come to pass. And even in this, the quatrain about the end of time, he spoke of the sun devouring the earth. And after that, it was problems with food, water, and cannibalism starting. And it was no fluke. Last year on Netflix, when they did that special, was it Jeffrey Dahmer? That was a subconscious plant intentionally. Almost like sending a signal out to people on a low vibration, like if it ever comes to that, that was a plant in the subconscious. So that when that hits, that plant is going to feed right over into the conscious mind. So that's why it's really important to release all old traumas, everything that doesn't serve you. Focus on this new cycle, elevating your frequency, because things are about to start collapsing. So I think that's all for this one. I have some more coming up tonight, so I'll see you in the next.